Greetings, Newhammer, Middlehammer, and Oldhammer folks alike. I am OldGrumpyWolf, aka Lennon Midnight, and welcome to the Minibar Podcast. I'll be serving you up lots of awesome painting nerdiness, talking to other painters from around the web. And tonight at the bar, we have Develain, aka Roll.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
So, whereabouts in the world are you?
I'm located in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie A Bridge Too Far?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, I live by that bridge. It's a Second World War movie. I live about a couple of kilometers away from it.
So the bridge really isn't that far.
No. Yeah, for me it isn't. But for
a bridge too close.
Yeah, a bridge too close. Yeah.
Okay, I'm making really bad jokes. Oh, thank you for taking time out of your morning on your day off to come on the show. Like, I know it's, what is it, like 8:30 there for you?
It's 9:40, almost 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you got to sleep in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was running late tonight. Like I said, at the gym, like the two machines that I use at the end of my Thursday workout, usually it's Wednesday, but the end of my workout, there was people on them. I'm just like, I got a show to do. Hurry up.
Yeah. Come on, we got important things to talk about.
So let's dive right into it. The first question that I ask all my guests is, what got you into the hobby and miniature painting?
Yeah, so I think I was about 12, 13. I just got out of playing Lego, but I entered middle school, so it wasn't cool anymore. And then I had a couple of friends.
Oh, how little did we know at that age? Because Legos are still cool.
Yeah. Are still cool, yeah. Only if I knew then.
Yeah.
But anyway, a couple of friends of mine, they started collecting the Lord of the Rings miniatures.
Oh, okay.
Games Workshop just got the rights to make the miniatures. And they were collecting, and I was visiting. But they had this little pamphlet by Games Workshop, and I was browsing through it because I wasn't really interested in the actual miniatures. But then on the back, I saw 4 bright blue Ultramarines carrying big red weapons. Yup. And that's when I thought, hey, wait a minute. They also make these. So I started searching for it. There wasn't really a Warhammer store in the city that I lived, but there was a toy store that was getting that week they were getting rid of their Warhammer inventory. So I picked up a couple of boxes and painted those, and that was 23 years ago. So that's how I got in and got hooked.
Oh, how old were you at the time?
I was 13, I think.
Oh, I got a couple years on you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, 23 years ago. So that was 2002. That was kind of like my second stint of getting back into painting again. Okay.
That was 3rd edition, I believe.
Yeah.
That was still with, I think it was just at the end of the Goblin Green bases.
Yeah.
Very bright blue, bright red bolters still. So I painted them accordingly to the box art still. Yeah.
Grim Bright.
Grim Bright, yeah. It's making a comeback, yeah. So that's how I got into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you get into it because of the painting or because of gaming?
Oh, all the way painting. All the way painting. I just saw the miniatures and I was completely mesmerized because I could do anything with it. I didn't have to follow the rules. Just pick up a couple of colors, and then only later there was a small group in the town I lived in, and then started playing some games. Then I found out there was a city half an hour away where they had a bigger club, and that was, I think, 05, 06.
Oh, okay.
When I started going there, and they were having tournaments every other couple of Saturdays. And that's when I got hooked, making armies. Painting a lot of miniatures, and that's how I got hooked. still to this day, yeah.
You mentioned the pamphlet you got earlier, and all I could think of was like, join our cult, join our cult, join our cult.
Yeah.
What cult is that?
What? Yeah,
like,
not a lot of people wanted to join me, but I found my people. I joined the cult.
So it was your gateway drug was pretty much what everybody gets hooked with was the Ultramarines.
Oh yeah, definitely the poster boys all the way. And then I remember that new store I went in. It was was a guy maybe 10, 15 years older than me. He was playing a game, and he had a fully converted Slaanesh Noise Marine army.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I was looking at it because I only saw the pamphlet in neatly clean painted miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
He did all these conversions, wacky pink, purple, orange colors, and I just sat there with my mouth open, thinking, "Wait, you can do other things with your miniatures?" and that's when I got really hooked. And he's a good friend of mine now. I still see him every week. Yeah, that was more than 20 years ago. So yeah, that was awesome.
My one of my best friends, who him and I are still besties to this day. I call him my painting bestie. Him and I met in 7th grade, and I'd been into Warhammer for like a year before that. It was 6th grade, so that was, I think, 92, 93, 91, 92, something like that. I was like 10 or 11, and that's when I got into it. When I hit 7th grade, I was in English class, and this dude Howard was sitting right in front of me, and we started talking, and I had one of my white dwarfs with me, and I showed him Space Marines and stuff like that. He's like, "Oh, that's so cool!" And like a couple weeks later, he ran out and bought a bunch of stuff, and we've been painting besties ever since.
That's how you get hooked, right?
Yeah,
it's just that first impression.
Well, amazingly enough, he didn't get hooked because of the Ultramarines. He got hooked because of the Blood Angels, and he still loves Blood Angels to this day.
Yeah, I think it's either that. It's you got to have the bright blue, bright red, maybe Imperial Fist, just a bright yellow. I think that's obviously the three primary colors that really grab your attention, right? Yeah.
Well, you just said the horrifying word to a lot of people: yellow.
And then, I painted and converted a Thunderhawk Imperial Fist style. So. Oh
wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I've I got a couple of people asking me, like some old GW staff that with me working on the Space Marine or Space Wolf tutorial right now. They're like, yeah. You need to do an Imperial Fist video because you're really good at yellows, and you need to show people like how to do a full yellow Space Marine. And when I did the Blood Angels video, there was a lot of people that were confused when I just had it in demo mode before I did the voiceovers, and they saw me. I do the base coat, I do all the black lining, and then I go clean up the black lining with white over the red, and then repaint red on top of that. And a lot of people were like, "Dude, I've never seen that before." I was like, "Yeah, it's called undercoating." Like. That's how you fix reds and yellows. I mean, you get good enough you can fix red without having a undercoat with red with white, but yellow, you've got to re-undercoat it.
I saw the Blood Angels video and painting white over the black. I thought, what? Oh wait, that's easier to cover the black with the translucent red. Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
Like we were last episode I had the guy who runs Army Painter US here on the show. And we were talking about he was going over, like, he's really into the whole process. He helps makes the paint and all that stuff like that. Yeah. And he was talking about he's like, you have a bottle hypothetically this big. You can only fill it with so much pigment until you still need the two other agents, the acrylic medium, and I forgot what the last one was, to make sure the binding agent to make sure that the paint works. So you've got 2/3 pigment and then and then you have a third left of sticking everything else in. Yeah. And you can only cram so much pigment into one tube. And with red and yellow, light green, certain purples, light greens, as in like a yellowish light green, they're all just thin pigments. So, and with you painting orcs, you know all about that.
Yeah, it's actually the mid-tone that I use for the orcs also has a semi-translucent, and I actually use that. How do you say it? That you can blend easier with it. So that's what.
The Lamian media or wet blending?
No, it's just the paint itself. Oh, okay. The paint itself is a little bit translucent, so I sketch in the rough highlights. Then I smooth out between the base layer and the mid-tone. Okay. And then that's the whole. Basically the whole scheme. That gives it the that limey green tone. Yeah.
So and I'm you'll see my face flash white. I do that for a reason, so I know where to set chapters at. I'm just making this question up on the fly. So I mean, you got into it because of Ultramarines and Space Marines, but like, what got you into Orks?
It has actually been a while. I don't know, because I'm also a scratch builder. I don't know if you've looked further down.
I saw some of that
Instagram
stuff.
feed. Yeah, I might have to. I usually don't upload those pictures because it's just white plastic and it's really hard to photograph. So
Yeah.
people can't really tell that I made it by myself. But anyway, I converted, scratch build a couple of Lehman Russes and Chimeras for an Imperial Guard army. But they're all the same. They have one Chimera, one Lehman Russ.
Yeah.
So I was doing that over and over and over again. So I thought I wanted to change up, and I thought, Orks, they can have different vehicles for any entrance that you can make up. So I started doing that, and just picked up. They need men to ride it. So and then I completely got hooked on painting green and perfecting that color scheme, and basically forgot to scratch build anything. But I'm almost done with all my foot troopers, so it's time for some rides for them because they are evil sons.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They had red ones go faster.
Yeah, red ones do go faster. Yeah. Yeah.
No, a good buddy of mine. He's building and painting a orc army right now. He's going for like 2,000 points. He's coming to LVO in October, and he's really, really pushing to have the army done so he can play. And he was, I don't really play, but I understand point values. And he was just going through like the point values for orcs. I'm like, oh my God, why did you curse yourself like that, dude?
It's the skin is if you want to get it right, it's one of the hardest things to paint. And you need you want a troop choice? Yeah, go make 20 of them. Yeah, because you'll pick them up by the bunch every time someone shoots at you. Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse in a way because it looks so cool having so many dudes bunched up, just screaming. But yeah, painting them. But that's what painters do, right? You pick an army, you think, this is gonna be awesome. Then you have to paint it. That's
Are you at all familiar with the orcs from second edition, like before the Gorka Morka redesign?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a really good question for you then.
Yeah.
And this is I'm catering this one specifically to you. How do you think the old Games Workshop orcs compare to the new ones?
Well, you're gonna pull up my my Instagram feed in a while.
Yeah, we'll do that in the third segment.
Yeah. Because the last couple were actually the older ones. The older ones have smoother faces. They have more defined, areas, and they do have a very different style to the new ones, because the new ones are more. Someone said they're more pig-like.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like the orcs from Lord of the Rings, with the short stubby noses. Yeah. And the older ones have more of a human, almost 70s, 80s cartoony goblin style, right? So I think they have a lot of how do you say it, charm, or this this I don't know how to say.
I think we'll go with charm.
Yeah, with charm. Yeah. Character. They have character.
There we go. No, the funny thing is, like with the old like Rogue Trader and second edition orcs, I look at those models and it's like, how were these ever a threat to the Imperium of Man?
Yeah.
Like when they went with the Gorka Morka redesign and everything forward based upon that design and aesthetic style. It's like, okay, it's like every single orc went to the gym and just started, bench pressing 300 pounds and got super swole up. And it's like, okay, I can see how those guys could be a threat to the Imperium. But the original ones are just walking around like nerdy dudes from high school with guns. It's like
skinny looking guys.
Their arms, they had like no muscle to them whatsoever. And then you see like out of suit, like Space Marines, and they're like, grrr.
Yup. Whatever threat, bright colors and banners everywhere. Yeah.
This is kind of cool. I've actually got I got 2 episodes in a row of orc people, and this is really neat. So my buddy RJ is going to get a huge kick out of this. The guy that's coming down for LVO. Nice. Next week I've actually got Gobo Girl coming on. I'm stoked to talk to her too.
Yeah. She's following me, and I follow her.
Yeah, you and her, you guys, you paint some awesome orcs. Like the stuff you two do, is just you knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
So
I try. Yeah.
Did you ever get into Gorka Morka?
No, never been into that. No.
Yeah, I
just want to get this army done and play some games with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Gorka Morka was a little bit before your time. It was I think that came out in my freshman year of high school, so 96, 97. Maybe it was 98.
Yeah, I think there was some when I started playing Warhammer 40K. That was about the end of the specialist games, where they had the Inquisitor, Battlefield Gothic, Necromunda.
Yeah,
that they were just getting rid of. So I saw the remnants of that, but they look like old dusty games.
Well, Gorka Morka I think it was only supported for like 6 months, and then they just.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've seen several YouTube videos on people that get the original box, and it's basically like a Mad Max Orks versus Orks, right? Yeah.
And the cool thing was you could actually use all the Orks. From what I've been told, you could use all the Orks and the vehicles from Gorka Morka in 40K.
Yeah.
And
I'm actually sorry.
Gorka Morka is actually what spawned the original. He wasn't named this at the time, but spawned the original Red Gobo model.
What is the red?
The Red Gobo.
The Red Gobo, is it the?
Yeah, they have him. They have a special edition Red Gobo every Christmas.
Oh, that one. Oh, he's from Gorka Morka. Okay.
It was called Goblin Captain or something like that. It was not the Red Gobo, but he's been made into the Red Gobo, and his price on eBay has shot through the roof. He's now $125, $150. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's some legacy miniature. Yeah.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, RJ, my buddy, he sent me a eBay listing for one at $60. Like my sleeping schedule is a little weird. I usually get up around 8:30. I'll stay up for about an hour and a half, and I'll go back to sleep until usually 11:30 or 12, and then get up and proceed with my day. So he sent me this link on eBay to the Red Gobo for like $60. I'm like, I saw it when I got up and it ended. I'm like,
You didn't get it?
No, it was the original metal one. And I'm just like, every other one for buy it now is like $125 at the moment. I'm just like,
oh my God,
I want that model.
Rough.
I don't want it. I'll wind up biting the bullet and pay $125 for it unless a really nice viewer wants to send me one. I'll send you a nice chunk of cash for it.
Yeah. You got to know people. You got to know people, right? I see a lot of people on Instagram that have 10K, 15K followers. They just throw up who has this model.
Yeah.
And they usually get it. There's always some weird guy that has, I have someone stored in a box.
Yeah, my gal saw it. My gal saw him. She's like, "Oh my God, I want you to pick that for me." I was like, I'm keeping that one for myself. That's staying in my collection. I painted you 5 Gobos from Gorka Morka last Christmas. If they're on display in your bedroom.
Yeah.
So
but Gorka Morka is one thing because some of them I also try to get them, but they're all very rare. Because some sculpts they just. I want them for my 40K army, but they're really hard to get by.
You're talking about the metal sculpts?
Yeah, the metal sculpts. I think it's one holding like a big rack of rockets. That one looks really cool.
I don't know if I remember that one or not. I had 2 metal ones. I converted one to a star player for Blood Bowl in the early 2000s. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the also the awesome thing about Orks. You can use things from Blood Bowl, Necromunda, the Gorka Morka. You can just all use them for 40K. Mm-hmm. Just convert them a bit, give them a chopper, give them a gun, and they're into the future.
When we get done with the show, I'm gonna have to send you a meme. I forgot to send it to you. It's an orc-based meme, and I think you'll laugh pretty hard at it. Everybody I sent it to was like, "That's amazing."
I'll look forward to it.
Actually, let me just so I don't forget. Let me actually copy and paste. There we go. Yeah. I'll copy and paste it right now. Forward to. There we go. I'll just send it to you now, so I don't forget later. Because I will probably forget because it'll be like 3 a.m.
yeah, right.
Okay, so with all that said, seeing as like your level of painting, I'm actually really curious. What kind of paints do you use?
Mainly, I use Games Workshop Citadel and Vallejo, or Vallejo, how you want to pronounce it. I think everyone says it differently. Those are the 2 main brands.
Mm-hmm. Are you using model color or game color? Or both?
I think mostly model color, and I think I've picked up my first game color, which is the new red that I use for my orcs now.
Oh, okay.
It's the I think everyone should pick that one up. It's the brightest red I've ever gone. It's the Scarlet Blood.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw it. They have the game color have they're not translucent, but they're bright clear plastic now, so you can actually see the paint.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's one of my biggest gripes. Is like, why isn't everybody using clear plastic?
Yeah. That's literally why I picked it up.
Yeah.
I saw it from I see it from a couple of meters already, and I thought, whoa, is it really that red bright? And I just picked it up. I had to see for myself.
Yeah.
And it was. So it's the best advertisement you can get, right? So Citadel. I'm looking at my page right now. Citadel and Vego. And I also have for metallics, I use scale 75.
Oh, okay.
Because I watch a lot of YouTube videos about it, and it's just basically I pick them how the paints work, not particularly how the color looks. I think that's a little bit more important.
I think you're the second guest I've had on that's talked about scale 75 metallics being really good.
Yeah. They have a really dense micro or whatever they put in the metallics, and they're really nice. They cover really awesome. They're copper. They're gold. Awesome. It's awesome. I can really try and use it. The scale 75 metallics. Yeah.
I'm still stuck on. I like Citadel's metallics a lot. They still they're still pretty much like the original formula.
Okay.
So like I tried Pro Acryl's their metallics, and I couldn't get along with them very well.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock against Pro Acryl. Some people really like their metallics. I just wasn't a fan. But I haven't tried AK's metallics yet. I need to try those out, see what they're like. But I tried Too Thin Coats. Those the pigmentation in them were really good. They just dried too fast for me.
Okay.
They got even mixing in water with them, they would just get really gummy really fast, and I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I don't want that. you basically pick your paints how they behave, right?
Yep.
It can be the best color, painting wise, but if it doesn't behave,
yep,
I'm not using it. I'm not using it.
You're actually the first person who's mentioned the behavior outside of myself.
Yeah.
Like that's what I look for, like with my colors and what I use is just the behavior of the paint itself.
Yep. That's what people ask me at the fairly local gaming store is, how do you paint? But then I can say, well, yes, use this color, but what's in it for me is I know every color how it behaves and what I can do with it, and I can tell you, okay, buy this paint, and just paint it on, because you have to know how the paint behaves, and that's something you can't explain. You have to experience that yourself.
Yep.
So that's
Well, and that's kind of one great thing about current times with the hobby itself is there's just such a broad range of paints available now, and there's no one god tier paint. There's what works for you, what behaviors you like in your paints.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a saturated market with every YouTuber getting its own paints, signature ranges. Yeah, I think it's also sort of kind of a gimmick. Someone buys a paint because it has a famous YouTuber on it. And I will only buy it if other people are really good painters and say, well, this paint really behaves really good. Then I might try it. I'm not gonna buy it because someone's name is on it. Yeah,
I just went through and when I got back into this January of 24, I was really intimidated by the sheer amount of paints that were on the market.
Yeah.
And my painting bestie, he recommended me try out Vallejo model colors, so I bought a bunch of those, and I was quite happy with the way they worked. And then I tried Citadel's layer paints and found that I just did not like the behavior of them whatsoever. I'm like, what happened to their paints? And I branched out into Pro Acryl from there, and then Too Thin Coats, and then we finally got AK here in Vegas, at the local store that I go to, and I really like AK, but that was the hardest one for me to learn how to use, and now that I've learned how to use it, I really like it. It's just AK dries real fast, and it's so pigmented, you really have to water it down.
Okay. Yeah, getting to know the colors is
But I mean, in my little paint thing on my desk, I've got AK in there, I've got Citadel, I've got Pro Acryl, I've got a couple Too Thin Coats colors left. I've got Vallejo in there, and I know I'm always forgetting one, and I can't think of what it is.
Yeah.
But it's just based on exactly what you said, the behavior.
Yeah, right. Because I have one paint, the black that I use is a Revel, the blue one. They come in the boxes.
Yeah.
And that's the only Revel color I use. But I got it with my first airbrush. They had two colors in it, and I tried that black. It was so matte, and it applied really smoothly. That's my black now for forever. I will not use a different brand of any Vallejo.
You might want to try AK.
Okay, I might try to try AK. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't tried any AK. I don't know if they have it in my city. I probably have to order it online because I saw the Warheezy podcast with him, and he has some amazing results. So
yeah,
I think,
he started out with Vallejo and then went into AK.
Okay.
And now all he uses is AK, and that's just what he swears by.
Yeah. You have person I'm gonna shout out at the end. He's also into AK, so I think I might have to try him someday.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where it's gone since the 90s when all we had was primarily Citadel, and then Vallejo started coming on the scene, and then all of a sudden I dropped out for 12 years and came back, and it was like just smattering of different brands. Yeah.
Were you into the game when the foundation paints came along?
Yeah. I've actually still got a couple of foundations. I mean, they're still good, but I've replaced them with modern colors. Necron Abyss, and there was one other dark blue I like to use, but I thought the foundation colors were cool. Actually, Citadel in the 80s in the cylindrical bottles, they made a color called Marine Dark Blue, and that's what I used to use to base coat my Space Wolves with. And then I'd paint over the armor in Space Wolf Gray, but that was how I did in my new painting tutorial for my Space Wolves, I show exactly what I was talking about. But I paint over it with every armor panel with Space Wolf Gray, and then leave the armor lining that Marine Dark Blue. Yeah. When they brought out Foundation, I think it was Necron Abyss, was an exact replica of that color. So I couldn't get that color anymore, and then they brought it back out. And I'm like, oh yes. Oh.
They found the secret recipe again.
Yeah, well, the mixture of Marine Dark Blue was exactly like a foundation paint. It went on, it covered everything. You only did one coat.
Really pigmented, yeah.
But I mean, like the actual color name is Prussian Blue.
Okay.
So, but now if AK makes it, and I bought some, I had some from Vallejo, and I switched over to AK just because I preferred that formula over the Vallejo formula. But I was there when they did foundation paints, and then they came out. That was about the same time they switched over to shade paints, and they didn't tell anybody. They were still calling them washes, and they were not ink.
I wasn't really into washes anyway, so it didn't really bother me at that time.
Well, I used to use our black ink for panel lining, and then they brought out the shade paint, and there was like no pigment in it whatsoever. So I just started watering down black.
Oh no!
Or Chaos Black.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Really Chaos Black. Okay. Yeah.
The good old names.
The good old names. Yeah. Yeah. That's what they also did. They changed all the names. Around 15 years.
Well, they changed. I think all the names they have now. I think they've copywritten them or trademarked them, so nobody else can call it.
Yeah, but I remember that they had this whole how do you say it? Conversion sheet. This was the old color's name. This is a new one, and they didn't really all match.
No,
I hate it. Yeah, I hated that time. It's
well, like the current Citadel line, just how broad it is versus like what we grew up with. I think there was 70-ish paints total. I have one of the old charts in one of my White Dwarfs, but there wasn't that many colors. And then getting back into it, just seeing the color rack, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's the same when I visited a different, not a Warhammer store, but a different model store, and they had the Vallejo, and they had this huge rack. And I thought, wait, they have so many different shades of green and blue. Citadel doesn't have this, so that's when I picked a bunch of those, and I still have some of those 17 years later. Yeah, some brown tones and everything. They come in the eyedropper bottles, is way better anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, I was amazed at how broad Vallejo's paint line was for model color. It was huge. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the one kicker still to this day that drives me nuts when you were talking about the clear bottles is that the stupid little swatches that they have, like the colors, like on the rack. Yeah, they never look like that.
No, they never look that, and you have them they're unmixed, so they all look green.
Yeah,
because that
the medium separated.
Yeah. This is also a light green. This is also a light green. What's going on?
It'd be it'd be kind of interesting to actually get somebody from Vallejo on the show, because I'd be curious to talk to them about the mixture, like the way they produce their paints, like what kind of acrylic medium they use, and kind of go into more detail, especially since Vallejo is so well known, like worldwide.
Yep. Spanish, yeah.
But at least with like Vallejo, Tooth and Coats, Army Painter, and AK, they don't put like a styrofoam cap on the inside of the dropper, so at least you can take the top off and dab a little bit on your hand and actually see the color itself, whereas like Citadel paint pots are completely sealed, and Pro Acryl they put a styrofoam seal on the inside so you can't test the paint color.
Yep, you have to buy them.
Yep. That's how I want. Like I'm giving a bunch of my Pro Acryl to my painting bestie, but that's how I wound up with so many Pro Acryl colors. Was I was trying to find like snakebite leather and a couple old traditional Citadel colors in their mixture, and I couldn't tell. I just had to buy the color and test it out, and it's like, great, I'm never going to use that. I'm never going to use that. I'm never going to use that.
Nope. Then you end up with a whole box of colors you never use. Gift box.
Yeah, exactly. I've got about 35 paints in that box. I'm going to give him. And like right now he's taking care of his grandma's house and a bunch of other stuff, so he's not really working at the moment. So he's like, I'll take free paints all day long.
Yeah, sure. Bring him over.
Here you go. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
With all the paint brands that you've used, do you have a favorite?
It would be Citadel and Vallejo, because I have the most of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So just those two. Those two are the top tier for me. Yeah.
So what is it about modern Citadel that you like so much?
Just the coverage.
Okay.
And I like some of the contrast paints. The contrast. Yeah. I use Rattling Grime.
Oh, I love that color.
That's.
I like how it's got that green tint to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I shade almost everything with it now. It's because I used to use German black brown from Vallejo, and I was watering that down to glaze and shade with everything, and I just started looking. Okay, I have to get a translucent version of that, and Rattling Grime matches it perfectly.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's so awesome.
I've started using. Hang on, what color is it? I've started using mixing. I was using Black Legion for a while for my metallic shade. Like I'd water it down. I prefer using contrast and just watering it down to the opacity that I want, as opposed to using shade paints. But I was using Black Legion, and now I'm using the other Black Templar, I think it's called.
Yeah,
and it's actually
contrast.
Yeah, it's actually Citadel's Old Armor wash.
Okay.
Did you ever use that? No, they discontinued it by the time you got into painting.
Yeah.
Armor wash was basically like it was black ink with blue in it.
Oh, okay.
So now for my metallics, I take Black Templar, mix it, add in some Nolan oil, and then just mix a bunch of water in, and it like perfect.
Yeah, matches it.
Yeah, well, it's it brings it helps dilute some of the blue that's in the wash itself or in the contrast. Okay. But it just seems to work for like I've used it. I think on 2 or 3 models, the last 2 or 3 I've painted, it works for metallics perfectly.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah, that Rattling Grime is awesome. I love the green in it.
Yeah. Is it a little brown tone in it?
Yeah.
You prefer thinning it down with water? I prefer thinning it down with the technical contrast medium. Yeah.
I really dig I dig their contrast paints now. Like they're really similar to the old inks, but because they have acrylic medium in them, they don't reactivate.
Yeah, I've heard about the reactivation when this whole contrast game picked up, and other brands were doing it as well. And they would reactivate days after with water. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, like if it's an actual ink, it will reactivate. And I grew up,
Okay.
I grew up in using the 80s and 90s paints, and I think that even in the 2000s they still used inks, but they were actual inks. They weren't. There was no acrylic medium in them, so you had to be careful because they would reactivate if you worked them with too much water.
Okay. I think I've seen. I think I picked up the blue ink, but I was never really a fan of the inks that they used in the early zeros. No.
Yeah, that was Citadel's third formula. It was actually really cool because like they were trying to go for like matte colors.
Mm-hmm.
So the formulation was a little bit different than the 90s, and it to me that was the best Citadel paints they made.
Okay, with more the glossy ones, right?
Yeah, the 80s and 90s were more of like a satin or a gloss, but the 2000s they tried to really go matte with everything. That's where like I got hooked on their 2000s white because it was a matte white, and that's how I got into Pro Acryl because Pro Acryl is a matte white.
Okay. I think that really defines the colors if they get white and black right.
Yeah,
that's so hard to get right.
Well, I use two different whites. I use Vallejo Model Color white and then Pro Acryl white, but I use them for two different applications.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure you've noticed, like for like undercoating, if you use Vallejo white, it one or two coats at most. That's all you like thinned out with water. That's all you need, and then you can like coat red over it.
Okay. To be fair, I haven't used white in a long time.
What, from Vallejo or just period?
Just period.
Oh, okay.
I use ice yellow and ivory.
Ice yellow for the
barely. Win. Yeah. Ice yellow. I use the ice yellow from Vallejo. Mm-hmm. And the AK Interactive also has actually golden ice yellow, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ice yellow I have. Army Painter Fanatic the Fanatic line has ice yellow as well.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, the War Painter line.
That's top tier.
Oh, it's a great color.
You want to highlight anything, you can mix it with anything. Mm-hmm. It looks good with mixed in with any color.
Yeah, undercoating yellow in it. Like if you're doing if you're like from like my chesticulas on my Marines that I do in yellow, I don't use ice yellow. I use bright ivory, which is like a shade brighter. But undercoating yellow in like ice yellow or bright ivory, and then painting your base yellow over it, it just it really helps like warm it up and I can't brain right now. I has the dumbs. It just makes it look a lot better.
It almost pre-shades it or something.
Like even if you're coating over, like say you're like I still use Arial yellow. So if you're coating over like bright ivory or ice yellow with Arial yellow, it just gives it a lot of vibrancy.
Yeah, it just pops. Yeah,
I avoid using that word.
Okay, why?
Because I worked in a design department. I ran a design department for a vehicle wrap shop and sign shop for 11 years. And customers would come in and say, "I just want it to pop." It's like,
okay. So
what does that mean? I need it to pop.
What does that mean?
Can you just tell me what you want?
Just make it pop. Just make it pop. Go.
It's like pop is it's a verb, not an adjective. So it's there's the whole thing behind it. It's just my obsession with language. So, but I try to avoid using that word on my own vocabulary at all costs. I hear a lot of people say it. I'm just like.
It does get used a lot. At least in the sense of like miniature painting, it's understandable.
Because a lot of times when people say that this really makes it pop, what they mean is it makes it stand out, and they're talking about vibrancy. So it's easier to understand as opposed to like you do a full size, I don't know, wall wrap for somebody or a banner or something. And they're like, I don't know, it's just in pop. It's like, do you not like the font? Do you not like the color?
Yeah.
What?
What's wrong with it?
Going on with the conversation. So with you painting your orcs, who influenced your painting style?
It would be Iron Keep Studios. Okay, well you should look him up.
Okay.
I don't think he's painted a lot of Orks recently. I think he's into the weathering game a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and actually winning demons. I think he's from Poland, and he's flying around the world giving courses in weathering.
Do you actually know his name? I think I might know who you're talking about.
I think it's Gregor.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Well, he basically, I got his red recipe from him, and that's when I got into ice yellow.
Okay.
So he was my gateway ice yellow guy, because you can mix it with the brighter reds. So that was a big influence. Quarter paint, you know him? Okay, well he was I think 6-7 years ago. He was the guy who painted orcs, and yeah, he could really make them. I'm not gonna use the word, but make them vibrant, and yeah, those were the two that really got me into. Because I was already painting orcs, but I didn't really have a style for it. And yeah, they had it going on. So
what was it about
they were the biggest.
How did he influence you?
Who?
The second guy, the quarter paint.
The quarter paint. Yeah, he would do 6-7 different shades of green, and made them all work.
Oh, okay.
It was every orc that he painted was a different. You could make him really saturated green or really muted green, but it always worked.
Yeah.
And I'm already happy that I can get one tone decently good. But that guy's just. I think he's painting for Privateer Press now.
Oh, okay.
What's the game called? War Machine?
I don't know. I've heard Privateer Press.
Yeah. I think he's the official box art painter now for it. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The guy's a beast. He's awesome. He's really awesome.
Is there anybody else that piques your interest?
Right now, would be Orkbot.
Orkbot. I like that.
Bot. Yeah, he's into the 3D printing orcs.
Oh, okay.
So he prints from all creators. Then he paints them up really nice. He makes it look too easy. It's just, I think, yeah, I'll copy that. It's only 1-2 highlights. Then
3 days later on one model, you're like, yeah, why did I even try?
How does he do it? Yeah. And then you end up doing 6-7 layers, and then it just looks like it's 2 layers anyway. So, yeah, that's what really bothers me. People making it look really easy.
Don't watch my Space Wolves tutorial then.
Well, I already watched your Blood Angels.
No, my painting bestie said that to me this morning. He's like, I sent him the demo video, and he's like, dude, you make it look so easy. I'm like,
yeah, it's not.
I had to do 3 different models to be able to do this.
Yeah. Oh, you can't rush perfection, right?
Oh, I'm still far out from perfecting this. I had to like reconfigure the whole way I painted Space Wolves. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? I had to not condense it down. I had to streamline it to make it understandable. So I had to like start from scratch and figure out like, okay, how can I actually make a painting tutorial for this? Whereas my competition minis, there's no way that I could do a painting tutorial for that.
No.
I would just really piss people off, because it's like,
steps.
you have to use these specific paints to get this.
Yep.
And you're going to spend hours just blending like one leg. So I taking it back to condensing it down and actually streamlining it. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to go with this process, because I want to work with this more. I think this is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine making a tutorial video.
It's not fun.
No, how do you?
It's not fun.
A camera in your face. And
dude, I've got a swing arm. Like, I've got a 90-degree swing arm on my painting desk right next to me, and it holds my phone. And my phone sits right here on my head.
Okay, right above your eyes.
So
you bump into it a lot.
There's some stuff that like on camera, like, I get kind of sloppy with, and then off camera I have to go back and fix it, because I can't sit in my normal position. I'm super nearsighted, so I hold my miniatures about there. Yeah. And so there's a lot of cleanup I have to do off camera. And fortunately, nobody's yelled at me about it yet. Like, why does it look so much better in the turntable shot? Because I cleaned it up off camera, because I can't see when I'm filming.
Yep. Yep.
But the neat thing,
You try
actually, you might
making
want
it.
to try with one of your orcs. Do a painting tutorial for your orc, because it really it makes you think about your entire process and how you do it.
Yeah,
and like with the Blood Angel tutorial, it actually helped me improve how I paint my Blood Angels.
Okay. Because you have a method.
Yeah.
That you use. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have in my head, I kind of have like a list that I go through as I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do a tutorial, you really think about that list, especially like if your first tutorial, when you're editing all the video footage together, it gives you a really good idea, really gives you a broad view of how you do the entire process. And as you're editing, you'll actually be like, oh, I can, like maybe I can do this step before this and this step after that one, and actually improve the efficiency of it and maybe make it look a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I've tried that with my orcs. I try to do it with contrast.
I'd watch a tutorial for your orcs.
Yeah. I believe, but the making one would be hell of a job. Yeah.
I will tell you right now, it feels like it takes 1,000 times longer.
Yeah. I might do a sort of slideshow. I think I've done that in the forum days before Instagram. I converted old Dark Eldar miniatures into clone troopers from Star Wars, and I used
somebody's going to yell at us in the comments below.
Yeah,
how dare you, sir?
Yeah, this was 2012, so converting was really magical, and now you have 3D printing, so anybody can get anything.
I was thinking, how dare you defile the Dark Eldar by making them stormtroopers?
Yeah. I got there. Nobody wanted those old models, so I got 40 brand new on the sprue, easy. So but I did a slideshow for it. I might do that for the orc skin recipe sometime. Yeah.
Darcy Bono, she's actually got a really good video about like slap chopping orc skin and like working with contrast, and then also like after the contrast layers are dry, like how to actually build up highlights on top of the contrast.
Yeah, I tried to use contrast and then mixing in lighter colors with the contrast so that you get. But that's really difficult because you can't get them too opaque and really cover it well. So tried that, but I just switched back to my my opaque.
The funny thing is, I never thought about mixing in regular paint like highlights or like brighter colors with contrast. It just never dawned on me. And I was a couple of shows ago, I had Tim Prow from 90s Eavy Metal on, and he's really big into using contrast colors now. He likes them, and he's like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Dude, how do you highlight? Like, what do you do for your highlights?" He's like, "I just mix my highlight color with contrast." I was like, "I cannot believe I've never thought of that."
Yeah, and that's why we watch YouTube tutorials. Like, you get insights on things you would never normally think about.
Yeah.
That's why we watch them.
I don't know. I say like in the modern day and age, I say go like, and a lot of people really like it. I'm one of them, but like, don't do the slideshow. Do video.
Okay.
Because we just seeing the process, the way actually Warheezy brought this up when I did the Blood Angels painting tutorial. He's like, dude, it was really cool and different seeing how you paint versus how I paint. Yeah. Because both him and I paint in a similar style. Okay. And he's like, you do things totally different than the way I do things. So it's always interesting to see how different painters operate.
Yeah. Yeah. Brush control is everything, right?
Yeah.
It's just the simple things where you start putting your brush on a model and where you end, that you get different translucencies. I never thought about that, but now that I know how feathering works and everything like that. It's really just the technique of putting acrylic on anything.
Well, like I said, for you, like I would, if you actually made a tutorial on how you paint your orcs, I'd sit. I don't care how long it is. It could be 2 hours. I'd sit there and watch the whole thing. Like I really like how you paint your orcs.
No, thanks. Yeah, you're really convincing me, but
it's very much like it's very Grim Bright, but also like really evolved. Like you could tell that like there is Grim Bright influence in what you do, but you've really evolved it your own way, which is really neat to see.
Yeah,
and you've got some really advanced techniques too.
Yeah, thanks. I like to get the vibrant green, but then also a bit of a grungy, but still that bright red.
Well, your greens and your reds are like what instantly stood out to me.
Yeah. Well, that's the main two components of making an evil sun, right? It's the red and green. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're like, it's just really vibrant. I like how you do yeah, I can't talk. You go toward the yellowish green highlights, as opposed to like the current Citadel style where it's like whitish green highlights.
Yeah.
And it's your skin orc skin is very grim bright. It's very old school, like 80s Rogue Trader-ish era, where you do the goblin green and then you'd highlight it up with what was called bilious green.
Yeah.
And you don't seeing yellow highlighted orcs is really rare now.
Mm-hmm. It's I started doing that last year, glazing yellow over it to get the vibrancy going.
Yeah.
So it's not actually yellow being highlighted on it. It's buff that I use as a final highlight. It's a little more creamier than ice yellow, but it's very similar. It's just a warm highlight and then glazed yellow over it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like now. Yeah, you actually just said something that I hadn't thought about in a while that I don't think I've heard a guest mention yet. Is the warmth in colors on your model. Like there's that used to be a huge thing in the 90s and like even someone in the 2000s, and it kind of continues on with the Grim Bright stuff. It's just creating warmth in the colors that you use, and it's. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways of painting now, but to describe somebody's models as warm is kind of a rare thing.
Yeah, saturation.
Yeah.
And that's for red is really important.
Yeah.
And green as well. Yeah. Saturated colors. Yeah. Just gives it life. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. On Reddit, whenever I post my minis, everybody's like, "God, that looks like it's a 3D rendering. It's out of a cartoon or something." We don't ever see this anymore.
Yeah. I've been told that a lot when I was painting armies and going to tournaments, go for the best army on show. Everybody said, "Oh, your style is so cartoony," because I was really into really thick highlights, so that every part was highlighted the same way. I don't do that a lot anymore, but back then it really worked, and it was called cartoony, really cartoony.
Oh, I've got a good question for you. Do you clear coat your models, and if so, what clear do you use?
No, I don't clear coat them.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you play with them?
Not yet. I haven't clear coated any of my armies. I have 3 main armies that I've painted in the last 15, 16 years. I took one out maybe 2 months ago, and never clear coated them. No.
You might want to.
Maybe. I barely see any marks where I picked them up, but that's also kind of the gaming. They're gaming pieces. Oh, sorry, they're gaming pieces. So yeah, that doesn't really bother me. If there's really a shiny spot or anything, I'll try to fix it. But I don't know. It's just clear coating them with I would have to do it with an airbrush. Maybe I would try so that I can thin it. But I will never do with a big spray can. No.
Oh, like I use Citadel's Munitorum varnish on my stuff, and I haven't run into any problems with it. You just got to figure out where to hold it in stream. Pro Acryl just came out with a matte clear coat. I've got a bottle of that sitting on my desk. I haven't tried it yet. But finger oils are like the death to acrylic paint. Like they will eat through acrylic paint like crazy. Yep.
Yeah, that is true, but still, I've never done it. I've never run into really big problems with it. So if it works, it works, right?
Oh, I just don't want to see completely badass paint jobs going to hell because of finger oils.
Yeah, but I'm scared of the metals being toned down too much if I use a matte varnish, for example. I don't want that to happen, and I don't want to have my orc skin to be set and varnished, because then it would be. So I don't know. I just don't.
There was a guest I had on. His episode will be out, I think, 2 episodes before yours. It's a guy I follow on Instagram. His name's Luke Learns to Paint, and he's we did a whole segment about clear coating and varnishes and stuff like that. You might want to check out what he has to say. Like that. I mean, that dude is astronomically good.
Okay.
I'm just sitting there like, well, he mentioned using an airbrush to varnish models with.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds like airbrush you can get slightly different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to mess around with it. I know Vallejo makes a lot of different clear varnishes for airbrush.
Yeah.
So I'd say try putzing around with that and see what you get.
Okay. Yeah, I might do it. I have a Vallejo matte varnish bottle, and I use matte medium. So I do sometimes if a color comes out a little bit too much with a satin sheen, I go over with just a little diluted matte medium to matte it down, so that kind of works as a varnish, right? Mm-hmm. So it's protected in a little bit of a way. Yeah. So I do that. So in a way, they're almost varnished, but in the middle of steps. So, but the matte medium is a lifesaver for me sometimes, and it just gives a nice matte surface to work on with the next layer, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, I found I learned the hard way with my Space Wolves that I'm painting right now with War Painter, and I totally forgot to ask Adam about this. I found like with the two War Painter colors, the blue gray and the Space Wolves gray that I'm using, it's Runic Cobalt and Frost Blue. Yeah, they don't like what's that? The Microset and Microsol.
No.
Oh no! It ate right through it. I was like, the Microset ate right through the paint. I'm like, oh crap! Okay, so I have to, if I put transfers on that on the blue armor, I have to clear coat it, put the transfer on, and then clear it again.
Yep. I always see they use gloss varnish for that, right?
I tried it with Citadel's Minotaurus on my Blood Claw. That was one of my test models, and it worked fine. Okay. So, and
is that like a satin finish, or?
Yeah, you can actually make it matte. It just depends on where you hold it in the spray stream.
Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting.
It's like I'll hold it in like the bulb of the stream for the first couple of coats. Yeah. And then the final coat or two, it's really light. I'll hold it at the very end of the stream, and I call that dusting. Yeah, dusting. And right. That creates the matte finish to it. Like after it dries, I go back with a super soft big brush and brush off what didn't stick.
Oh, you brush the excess off.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Whatever didn't stick comes right off, and whatever sticks creates a nice matte finish. So.
Okay.
But moving on, I wanted to ask. I'm sure you've seen a lot of '90s stuff, but it sounds like your primary focus was the 2000s. What do you think of '90s/2000s Eavy Metal Grim Bright versus modern Eavy Metal? I don't know. You want to call it grim dark box art painting?
Right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting the Oldhammer vibes right now. The bright, the Grim Bright, as you would call it. I'm really getting into that because it's so much fun, and that really means Warhammer. That really screams Warhammer to me. Just bright colors, just running around the field, and the modern. Because I'm not really big on Primaris Marines.
Thank you.
I never really, I'm sorry. For the viewers, I never got into it. I don't think it was a wrong choice for them to make it. I understand, but they should have just gone with upscaling the legacy or firstborn as they would call them right now. Yeah. So I'm really glad that they still do 30K. So there's still
Beakies,
regular armor running around. But yeah, I mean it's fine. It doesn't really interest me. So I'm really onto the Oldhammer vibes. And maybe someone I can shout out right now is an Italian. He's called Giocani. You might want to look him up. He has
I might know him.
Yeah, he's painted almost 100 second edition orcs. He has all the sculpts and everything, and just painting them. Chef's kiss. So vibrant and really colorful, and that is just. That really screams. That was the peak of Warhammer.
Oh yeah, I am following him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
The last picture that I posted of the commando was inspired completely by his commando. He posted 2 weeks ago or something. Sometimes you just see something on Instagram and you think, okay, I have that model. I'm gonna pick it up right now. It's 1:30 at midnight. I was in bed and I got up. I had to pick the model and I put it on my desk. That will be the first thing I'm gonna paint. And I did. Yeah, so he's awesome. So yeah, I'm really onto the Oldhammer, even mid-hammer, because I have the metal knobs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the hand sculpted really does it for me. And,
yeah.
There are still new models, especially the ones that are based on the old artwork.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing really good with that. But yeah, so I prefer mid Oldhammer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about digging out an old model. I've got a Ragnar Blackmane sitting on my desk for like the last 6 months. I'm just like,
one day
I'll get to it.
Yep.
No, I've got my display cases to my right. I've got all 3 of my Ragnar Blackmanes that I painted up when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And so I want to do a modern one just to show like the difference of 27 odd years. God, I think the last time I painted a Ragnar Blackmane, I was like 17-ish. And I haven't touched it since. So I want to do a new one and just do like, I don't know, like a side-by-side comparison on Instagram.
Comparison. Yeah. I think a guy from my friendly local gaming store, he had 4 generations of Zoanthropes.
Oh, wow.
Tyranids. And he actually fielded in his army. And it would really go from small, and it would go.
The original Zoanthrop was uglier than sin. And then they redesigned it for third. They redesigned it for 3rd edition. It looked like a chest burster from Aliens. That was my favorite one. I've got one of those painted up. And then they changed that design so his head was all veiny and weird. And I'm just like, what did you do?
What's going on? Yeah, always making it bigger, more detailed, more intricate.
Yeah, but the first one was it was terrible. It was like a Tyranid with a giant head.
Yeah, and it had feet. It was walking. It was not floating around. Yeah.
I have to dig it out, but I'm pretty sure they were Tyranid legs.
Tyranid what?
Tyranid legs.
Yeah.
Because that was when they started resculpting all the Tyranid models back into metal, and they just got so stupid looking.
Yeah. But they did have some charm. So,
I really like the original Hive Tyrant.
Yeah, it's the one with the big whip.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite. That's like one of my all-time favorite Tyranid models. They just first one they released, they just nailed it.
Yeah, it's so good, so good.
Actually, I painted it. God, I was a freshman in high school when that came out. A buddy of mine bought one, and he's like, "Hey, can you paint this for me?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
I gave it back to him. He's like, "Oh."
He still has it?
I have no idea. I haven't asked him.
Some relics.
I think no. He said he ended up taking it, stripping it, and repainting it because he wanted to try to do it like me. And I never saw it after that, so I don't know what happened to it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it. Honestly, the funniest thing I have tried since I got back into painting, I've tried to paint a Gene Stealer, and all 3 times I've just royally screwed it up.
Yeah. They're so specific to get right. Right?
Well, the first time around, I thought Known Oil was black wash, and I put like 3 or 4 coats of it on the model, and it just ruined the model because all the acrylic medium built up.
Oh.
And the second time around was I picked up some AK colors I wanted to try, and I didn't know how to use AK at the time. And technically the third time I painted the other half of the same model with Pro Acryl to see if I could get the results I wanted, and I didn't. But the first one was a plastic Gene Stealer, so the detail was god-awful. And the second one is actually a metal Gene Stealer. Oh. From Rogue Trader era, so the detail is a lot more defined. I'm just going to strip the metal one and repaint it.
Yeah.
The funny thing was, I was on the treadmill tonight at the gym trying to think about, like, I usually I'll get lost in thought about what I want to paint on the treadmill, and it makes it go way faster. So I got locked into thinking about that Gene Stealer. I'm like, I need to strip that thing and actually rework it again, because like now that I've got the hang of using AK, I think I can pull it off.
You can do it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make a post, be like, I painted a filthy Xeno. Please make fun of me. I have betrayed everything I stand for.
Yeah. No, they're classic. They're classic gene stealers. Yeah. Never got into Tyranids. Sometimes you have an army idea, and then it just you have a tier list. You have a tier list of what armies would you want to do, and I think I have. Okay, well, Orks has been on for 6-7 years now, so that's taken up all the time, all my time. I think I want to do Iron Warriors. Maybe that's been on the list for 15 years.
Oh, that'd be cool to see you do.
Yeah. Do you follow the Steel Legion on Instagram?
I don't know. That one doesn't ring a bell.
Well, there's another shout out. He has completely converted Steel Legion Armageddon army, and he got into Iron Warriors now. I think he's converting a Hellbrute right now, and he's really into styro. How do you say it? Polystyrene converting. And he just go give him a follow. He has some amazing conversions and really grim, dark Iron Warriors.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, and all the stuff you've been mentioning, like I've been writing all the different Instagram accounts down. So like when we get done with the show, I'll send you all the stuff that you mentioned, and just go dig out their Instagram for me, and I'll link it in the description for the video below, so people can go check it out. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, some great painters. Yeah.
And kind of actually, this will be the last question before we jump into your Instagram. But what advice would you give painters just starting out to help them avoid the same pitfalls that you hit?
Just go. Just yeah. How do you say it? And don't prime your miniatures black if you want to go for a bright color. That's a really important one, because now you have. I switched my Orks because I would prime them with a Mornfang brown, really warm brownish. But then it took really long to get the colors bright, so I switched to a more of a khaki one by Vallejo. Vallejo. That one's just awesome. It's already a nice bright color, and you can get greens, browns, reds over it. Really easy, and you can see all the detail already. Try out contrast. Get that going for shading, because if I do metal weapons, rattling grime, thin down, so you can get all the definition of all the rivets and all the nooks and crannies. Boom, you get them, and then you can go with a second layer. Just try to tone it down, stuff like that. Just you can get a definition really quick with contrast right now, and then after that you can, because I don't know how you see it. The model has an ugly face, where in the middle, where you just look at the model and you just go, you want to throw it away.
Yeah.
But you always have to get through that step, and the shorter you can make that window of the model being in the ugly face, the better it is. The better it is. You want to get some results. Maybe get a shoulder pad or something on the model finished, so you know what you're working towards. Instead of the whole model being in the ugly phase, and you just want to go throw it away. You want to get out of that ugly phase as soon as possible. Yeah.
What about if the model itself is just the ugly phase? Period.
Then it's never going to get finished. It's as simple as that.
I was just thinking of my Logan Grimnar that I painted for Olden Demon. Like it's such a god awful sculpt.
Yep.
The first Logan Grimnar is literally the definition of ugly face. He is an ugly face miniature. There's no getting out of that ugly face.
Yeah.
The new one is just badass.
The new one?
Oh yeah.
Is the one that they've announced?
Yeah, the one he's walking up with both wolves.
Yeah. He's not on the sled anymore.
No.
Oh.
No, I can't wait to paint
I think I've seen it. The guy's enormous, right?
Yeah, he's pretty big. He's standing on rocks. So I've seen like side by side comparisons of like him, Gilliman and Johnson, and it's like, oh, he's just as big as a Primarch. No, he's standing on a rock. Get him off the rock, and he's like, a little bit shorter. But then again, he's in Terminator armor as well. So
yeah, I'm really glad that they switched to Terminator armor again, because what was the Ultramarine guy again? He had Terminator armor, and then they switched it to Gravis.
Marnius Calgar?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm really glad that they switched back to Terminator armor, because I do not like Marnius Calgar in that.
I thought the original, like, I haven't kept it with Marnius. I thought the original release of Marnius back in the 90s, he was just a Mark 7 Marine with like 2 giant gauntlets and bolters.
Yeah, and then for when I got into it, he had Terminator armor on, and that was the I think he had a really cool running pose. I think that was pretty amazing.
And then they stuck him in Gravis armor?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's in Gravis armor right now. Yeah. So that's why I'm really glad that they didn't put Logan Grimnar in that Primaris armor, but Terminator armor, which he should be.
Like, I'm not big on Ultramarines, but I really like the character of, I call him Robert Gulliman, Rabute Gulliman, big old Bobby G. So no, Gulliman, I like his character a lot in like the Black Library series. I like what he stands for. I like that he's like, no, we're just humans. I'm just stop worshiping my dad as a god and stuff like that. But his sculpt is so god awful. It's so bad.
It's almost like an Age of Sigmar.
I don't like if they'd simplified his armor, like the gold trim, instead of like bringing it all out in like little fancy shapes. I think it would have been a lot more of an effective miniature.
Yep, 100% agree. Do you know the Forge World Gulliman?
Horus Heresy.
Yeah, for 30K. Yeah,
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it.
It's way better. It's way better. He has a normal pose. Doesn't have all those like gothic swirly, dirly ornaments on all over his armor. It's way better. It's way better.
Yeah, I noticed they did that with some Blood Angel that they just released. They put that flourish kind of stuff on the armor. I'm just like, stop doing that. It does not translate well.
The fact that you can make it so intricate and detailed doesn't mean you have to do it.
Yeah.
That's also a gripe. And other good friend of mine is also a bit into designing. He's also really bothered by it.
Yeah.
That's why I think 30K looks pretty cool. There's no shenanigans, because it really carries over. This armor has to be built fast, has to be effective.
Yeah.
And you could see that in the models, and it's just go nuts with it.
I'm not 100% happy with the Saturnine armor. I like that they brought it back, but I think it's too busy.
Yep. I think it's really awesome, because it's really from the old days. Just put it in a new. I kind of like the size.
Oh, and by the way, folks, we're recording this the 6th of June, so when this comes out, it's probably going to be like September.
Yeah. Okay. So they will be released.
Yeah, so at this point in time, like last week, 2 weeks ago is when they released they showed the Saturnine stuff off. So we're a bit in the past from this being on YouTube.
I'm holding one right here. It's off screen, yeah.
I think the thing about the original model, I painted one up in a Blood Angel, and like he was cramped as hell to paint. I said I'd never paint another one again, but now I want to do one in Space Wolf colors because I'm a hypocrite. But no, I like the simplicity of the Rogue Trader era armor versus the new ones they just released. I mean, it's cool seeing Saturnine, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to paint that because it's going to take me 3 weeks just to do one model, and it's so busy. How do I even make this look Grim Bright?
Yeah, but that one model will be your whole army anyway, so...
Yeah. God, dude, the Dreadnought is huge!
Yep.
Like they had a picture of like a normal Marine next to the Dreadnought, and the Dreadnought's like this. There we go, like this big, and the Marine's like this big.
It's almost a knight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I think they did a good job on the helmets, because the old one is just a blob with 2 eyes in it, and you have a lot of 3D. A lot of people design their own. Yeah. For 3D print, and no one knows what to do with the helmet. Yeah. And I think Games Workshop really nailed that, at least. My fingers are crossed that they eventually in 30K they bring back the Rogue Trader era style Terminator armor. Okay. Just because I like that. Is it the more boxy one?
No, well, like the Terminators that became I mean, you have the 3 prototypes, which was included. Saturnine was included, and then you had the ones that actually came out afterwards that had the 2 arms.
Yeah, I think someone showed me. I think I know 2 of the 3.
Oh, the prototypes.
Yeah, the one with the Saturnine, the one that we know now. Then there's another one.
No, there was the Beetleback, there was the Tiny Head, and there was a Saturnine. And the Tiny Head was actually the Tiny Head and the Beetleback were multi-piece models, but the Tiny Head eventually became the Rogue Trader era Terminators from the RTB 09 box set. Yeah, did you ever go through my profile?
I think so.
All the Blood Angel Terminators that I painted up, those are Rogue Trader era Terminators.
Yeah, we just.
So it would be neat to see that aesthetic like actually reworked,
being brought back.
I think they're not super different from 2nd edition on forward, but they have their own look to them that I really like.
Yeah. That would be amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah, right. I see all the Terminators right now. They do look pretty similar to the modern ones, right? Yeah.
Like their shoulder pads, they come down to a point. They're more rounded. It's a specific era of design that I like.
Yeah, but they do have the same helmets. Mm-hmm. Yeah, design. Yeah. So they would do something with the shoulder pads, right then.
Yeah, basically, like let's say like 2nd edition is like Mark II armor. Those would be Mark I armor.
Yeah,
and it would just
be who knows? Yeah, probably.
I think the what are they called? It's not the Cataphracti armor. It's the other armor they have right now.
Tartarus?
What's that?
Tartarus?
Yeah, the Tartarus. I think the Tartarus is what became the 40K armor.
Okay.
Because Cataphracti doesn't look anything like 40K Terminators.
No, they did. The shoulder blades look way different, yeah.
Yeah, and the Tartarus armor, if you look at it versus like 40K Terminators, you can actually see aesthetics of 40K Terminators in Tartarus.
Yeah,
I always want to call them the tartar sauce Terminators.
Yeah. That's what you do, right? You see tartar, yeah. Tartarus, tartar sauce, yeah. That's always to do that. Yeah.
You remember Grumpy Cat, don't you? The cat with the
the meme, yeah.
Her actual name was Tartar Sauce.
No way.
So can we call them the Grumpy Cat Terminators?
Yeah, the Grumpy Cat Terminators. Yeah. If you're called like that, you cannot be happy about it, right?
Oh, my brain goes in weird directions, man.
Hey, that's good. I applaud that.
Okay, so we had a bunch of cool questions and lots of off-topic conversation, which this show I love doing on this show because I get to talk to other painters and nerd out. So let's switch over to your Instagram feed because I've been dying to talk about your miniatures, and I need to bring up my interact window. Whoops, wrong one. Oh, okay. I want to talk about the Ork Goth rock band.
Yeah.
When did you find these?
A friend of mine had them lying around.
Oh, really?
Still had them in a blister. Yeah, I think they were not in the old blister, but it was something like a re-release or something. It was made to order or something.
Oh, okay.
And he was working at the store and he had just lying around. And,
so these are metal, right?
These are metal, yeah.
Okay, that was the original made-to-order service.
Yeah.
They used to call it the archive service.
Yeah, he just had them lying around, and I thought, you're never gonna paint them, and can I have them? And he said, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I painted all 3 of them. Yeah, got the band back together. Yeah.
I like that they brought out the lead singer again in Modern Hammer.
Yes, I have that one. I have the one as well.
Oh, nice.
So I have to paint it up. Yeah.
I love how his little amplifier is a squig with a speaker in its mouth.
Yeah. I don't know. Does the new one have it?
Yeah. He's got his foot on top of the squig with the speaker in its mouth.
Right. Yeah. He's standing on it. Right, that's it. He actually has a speaker built into his mouth. Yeah. He's still got the top hat. Yep. The slash top hat.
Yeah, I wish they redo all 3 of them.
Yeah. That would be awesome, yeah.
Because I think they discontinued these when 2nd edition came out.
Okay.
Because these are Rogue Trader era Orks.
Yeah, these were actually playable, right?
I have no idea. If somebody wants to comment down below and let us know about that, we'd really appreciate it.
I think they could pick up their guitar and hit you in the face with it. I think that was an actual rule. Yeah.
Do you know if you can use the modern one?
Good question. I don't know. I think so, but or is it just a funny one-off? Yeah.
So we were talking earlier. Actually, hang on. Let's jump into something that we can talk about, like the way you paint your orcs.
Yeah.
So you were talking earlier about like your mid-tone is kind of a thin color. So like, tell us about how you do your orcs.
Yeah, I start with a khaki base coat out of a spray can. Then I paint all the how do you say the big green parts, the red parts, the metallic parts. I paint those all in with the base color. The base color for the green is I put stickers all over my bottles. Someone graphically designed them to make them look like the second edition bottles.
Oh, nice.
So my color is called Orc Base Skin now, but I think it's a Vallejo German bright green.
Okay.
But it's still pretty dark. But on a Second World War miniature, it would be very bright. And it's just a really nice base color. Then I go over it with a mixed color. It's a lime green from Vallejo mixed with, I think, Skarsnik green. Is that still around?
I have no idea.
Well, anyway, it's a mixed one I made, but it's a lime warmish green, and then I start sketching in the main volumes where the highlight is gonna come, so that you can still see a bit of the dark green. Rough sketch, then try to blend in the rough sketch with the rest. Try to blend them out a little bit. And then once that is done, I mix the mid-tone with buff. And then go smaller areas every time. Then finish it off with a buff highlight, really small area. Then I glaze all over the skin with a really light yellow glaze over it, just to get the warmth going. And then in some places I'll pick out the highest parts with a buff again, just to really make them pop. If I feel it's not how do you say, bright enough. So that's mostly the skin.
Hold on, do you paint in sub-assembly?
No, these are all assembled. Yeah. The hard to reach spots. If you can barely see them, they will probably receive a the rattling grime contrast over it, because I still use the light base color that I use with the spray can and dry brush over it before I do anything with the ivory or ice yellow, just to get all the details defined, so that I have a light color already for the pants and the straps and everything. Saves me a lot of time. The red is from the Iron Cape studio that I mentioned earlier. Start with a whole red, just to get it's really dark brownish, but still has a reddish tone to it. That's just a base, and then fill in with, I think it's Mephiston red, to get the main volumes in. And then I switched, I think last year, to the game color red.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah. I think they almost put a little bit of a fluorescent paint in it. It must be, because it's so vividly red. It's
I can't imagine anything being brighter than, like, I use Pro Curl Pyro Red, and the first time I used that, I was like, this paint needs a volume knob. It's so bold.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's anything like that.
Yeah, this one almost goes to 11, but it's just
it goes to 10 and a half.
Really, yeah, it goes exactly 10 and a half.
Spinal Tap would not be happy.
Yeah. I made for the sorry, then I'll get back on topic. These rockers, I made an amp for it, but it turned out to be really big, and then I had a button on it that actually went to 11. And I said, well, this one goes to 11.
Oh, there was actually somebody, I don't know who it was. I want to say like Orange or Fender or somebody. They actually brought out an amp that went to 11 on the volume knob from the factory.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So good. But anyway, the Scarlet Blood. If everyone watching, if you paint red, pick up Scarlet Blood game color. It's so worth it. It's amazing. So that's what gives the bright red.
Mm-hmm.
Then I highlight that with.
I'm just gonna change
red.
picture really quick. Keep talking.
Yeah, because they all have the same red recipe anyway. So, then you see that sharp highlight.
Yeah.
Is first with the Wild Rider red.
Oh,
and
okay.
then the thinnest highlight with Wild Rider mixed with ice yellow.
I was about to say it looked like you mixed in ice yellow.
Yeah. That's what really.
I really like your browns too.
Yeah, they always vary.
That seems to be the case.
I have a lot of brown shades, and just go. But usually I go with mixing them with ice yellow to get the sharp.
Yeah.
And get the little scratches. The little scratches got. People started doing it. I think 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the heavy metal painters.
Yeah.
I think from Sweden. There's a group of Swedish guys that got into Games Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed they had their own methods, and they brought that scratchy texture.
Yeah.
For clothes and everything. That just changes the way people painted fabric and everything. So
yeah, it seems like the fan community or the painting community, whenever they, come up with something and it gets kind of big, it finally filters into Games Workshop.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But then again, you've got ever-evolving staff of heavy metal painters, so they're always looking for younger people to come in to fill these
bring in
positions.
fresh ideas. Yeah.
So they're bringing in the newer generations that this is just kind of the standard thing for them to do, which is to us it's like, great, now I got to do 5 other things.
Yep. That's the standard now.
You actually DM'd me and asked me if I knew this model, and I know that model, but I can't place it. I want to say it's I call it second edition fantasy just because that's the era of second edition 40K. I think that was like 4th or 5th edition fantasy, but that's a 90s orc, isn't it?
I believe so. I don't because I actually this is a resin cast. Because I wasn't allowed to use the metal one.
Oh yeah,
so you see the. Because I think he's an old Fantasy Battle Black Orc. Yes, it is a Black Orc.
Okay, very
good. So you can see that I replaced the arms.
Yeah.
Normally he's holding a bone above his head, and where the 2 ammo canisters, how you say the magazines are, that's where he had a big drum.
Yes. Okay. That's okay. Yeah. I know that model.
Yeah, You got him.
Yep.
And in the shooter hand, he holds an axe, but the axe is really close and pretty awkwardly to his body. So I replaced both hands because the hand that's holding the shooter is also actually a different hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the both hands are from the second edition Snapfit orc.
Oh, okay.
Because they're really easy to cut off and put weapons on.
Yeah,
so that's what I went with. Yeah,
I forgot who I had a guest on. I forgot who it was. I want to say it was Tim Prow. We were talking, and there was another guest after him as well. They both brought up a topic regarding conversions for us old people. It wasn't kit bashing; it was conversions.
Yeah.
In that, like, the best conversion on a model is the one that you can't tell was converted. That looks like something Games Workshop would actually produce, and this is a prime example of what they were discussing. What we were talking about is this doesn't look like a conversion. This looks like something that came straight out of a mold.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that was exactly my philosophy when because he brought the whole bag and he said if you want to use something, cast it up, and I only ended up with one, and it was this one, and I just sometimes you just have the picture and like, no, you're gonna hold a shooter. And some axe or a knife above your head instead of the bone.
Well, and even the posing of the arm, the way way it's tucked back against his body, that's very indicative of that era of sculpting. Yeah,
because it has to be flat in a mold, right?
Not necessarily. Like the way metal models were produced, they were produced with like a rubberized type molds. Mm-hmm. So when they pulled it was called. Do you know anything about the molding process?
Yeah, I make molds myself.
Okay, so like it was a spin cast mold, and it was a rubberized mold. So like when they pulled it apart, the areas that like tucked in underneath, like hypothetically, you can't see my mouse pointer, like right where the gun, the shooter meets his arm, like that could be a crevice, not a problem, because the rubberized mold would pull out of the metal just fine, and it would go back to its original shape.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was plastic models, those are specifically 2-piece molds that it has to flat. Yeah, they've got to be flat. They can't they don't have you can't have inserts like you can with like automotive stuff, like like front bumpers of cars, vents, stuff like that. You can actually have pieces that lock into place inside the mold that can be removed post molding. And for what miniature manufacturers do, they don't have those pieces in their molds, so they have to. It has to be, flat piece against flat piece. Yeah. I mean, where they've gone now, as far as plastic molding goes, destroys what we had in the 80s, the 90s, and even the 2000s. Oh, right.
Yeah. That just went up.
Yeah, but the old spin casting rubberized molds for metals, they could get away with a lot more stuff than they could with plastics.
Yeah.
And we were talking about there's an old second edition monopose. Oh no, that's an old Blood Bowl model. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a mix. It's a mix of because normally he's holding his hand on his knee. Yeah. And this other one, what is he doing with his other arm?
I've got those in my closet.
Yeah. This one is also cast up.
That was the gouged eye.
Yeah. The gouged eye. Yeah. Yep. They have new models. I also painted the new ones in for 40K as well. But this one is just an arm replacement. The axe and the chopper and the slugger were we just switched. Now it's a 40K orc.
Yeah.
But really fun to convert, really fun to paint.
I have a running joke with my gal that like a lot of those old school orcs, they were always in like a squatting pose. And the same thing with the RTB01 sneaky beakies. Like the Marines are squatting, so the orcs and the Space Marines, them boys be throwing it back.
Yep. just crouching. They're about to do something.
Start shaking that booty like boom, ba-doom, ba-doom.
Yeah, boom, 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 boom.
The sergeant's just sitting there like, why are you guys sticking your butts out?
What's going on? We need to fight.
I wanted to talk about. Yeah, you've got a ton of these, and this guy is awesome. I really like this. Oh, you did that for the 90s Marine Challenge.
Yeah, I think I did the green one for the 90s Marine Challenge.
Oh, it says here, says, so impressed with Druchi. Oh, sorry, you did one myself.
It's someone else painted it. This one I entered.
Yeah, this is the one you entered. Something to do so.
I think it was second place by Druchi Gang. Very bright red. This one. And I had one lying around still. And I thought, am I going to replicate it? Yeah, I'm going to replicate it. And I sent him a message first. Is like, hey, this is my version of it. What do you think of it? And is it okay if I post it? He's like, oh, go. It's so awesome. I feel very honored. And so sometimes you just see something on Instagram and then it will not go out of your head and think, I want that. I want to replicate that. I'm very happy with this one. Yeah.
That 90s Marine Challenge was right before I got back into painting again, and that's actually one of the things that kicked my ass to get back into painting. Was like I saw you guys doing all these monopose Marines. I'm like, man, I miss that. I hate those models, but I miss that. Yeah. I just spoke blasphemy. I know. I got it. I've got about 6 or 7 of these.
I've gone to really like them because they're so old, so monopose, but they have so much character and
for a lot of people, it's that those rose tinted glasses of nostalgia.
Yeah, and it's also really fun for me to such an old model to get so much out of it. Yeah, with the limited detail, and then the people that got first, second, third place just knocked it out of the park.
It's I mean, there's another load of them you did too.
Yeah, and this was a couple of years before that.
Is that Mentor Legion?
Which one?
The one on the right?
Yeah, the Mentor, yeah. I think I'm not really happy with the if you go to the right.
Oh yes, you did the Rogue Trader badging.
Yes. This was way better than the new one.
I redesigned that because I couldn't stand the orange and yellow on the green and white armor.
Yeah. It clashes so much, but this was a pretty hard but pretty fun freehand.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had to go with this one. This was the OG. I might do the green tone a little bit different.
I've got a recipe for that for you if you want to try it the way I do my mentors. It's similar. Like the reason why I like yours so much is it's very similar to mine. Long story short, one of my old painting teachers, I've talked about this on previous episodes, but he when I was a teenager, he painted up a squad of Mentor Legion. It was like 5 guys. He claimed he did them in an evening, and I'm still like to this day like, but I spent 10, 15 years trying to replicate his painting style of Mentors. And I finally pulled it off in the 2000s when Citadel went matte white, and I figured out how he did it. But he incorporated like a green tint into his white armor. Okay. And I always thought that was like the coolest thing to do for Mentors because like it just carries the green from their natural armor down to the white, and it creates this kind of off green white. Yeah. And seeing this it really struck me because you did something very similar to me. You carried the bluish green, the tealish down into the armor and the shading. Yeah. As opposed to doing like gray shading. Yeah. And I can't I can't stand the Mentors, the current ones, the griffin red head thing on the shoulder pad. It takes away from the whole thing of Mentors. Yeah. You had this, then you changed it, Well, the whole chapter is based around like learning and knowledge, and the owl is a symbol of like knowledge and wisdom. And now it's going from the owl to the griffin head. It's like you just got rid of the whole purpose. yeah. But it's more streamlined, I guess. I don't know. Do you remember your how like the colors you were using for this, and how you did this? The base. This is 4 years ago, so my bad. No, that's good. That's okay. I'm trying to. No, because I don't buy a lot of green colors anyway. The base is actually the base color I use for my orcs. So this is the German. Yeah. Oh, okay. So no, the base. Actually, the base rim. It's meant to be goblin green. Mm-hmm. But this is just my base color for my orc skin. Oh, okay. This one, yeah. But I don't have a goblin green, so I just use this one. I think I used the green for the armor on the helmet and the trims is the same color I've used for my Eldar 15 years ago, and I still have that bottle because it's a Vallejo, a dropper bottle mixed in with some black, I think, to make it a little bit darker, and then just highlighted with white mixed into it. Mm-hmm. And I think the color is called Park Green Flat. It's not a really natural green, but I don't know. I like the kind of cold, desaturated color of it. Oh, and you're the only guest I've had on outside of myself that's painted Mentor Legions. So I'm just like, yeah. It's such this was in the Warseer, the forums. No. The only forums I ever went on back in the day was Daka. Yeah, I was on that as well. And before that, I was on Warseer, and there was like an old rivalry between those two forums. Yeah. And there was this one guy who had a Mentor Legion army. Oh, cool. And this was 2006, 7 or something. But he got the white down really good, and people just kept asking how you do the white. So every time he posted in his handle was just the tip, how I do my whites. Stop asking. And it was just he just did it with the spray can, just 2 light coats of skull white. Hold on, I'm gonna come back to your page really quick, but I just wanted to show you a comparison of like what we were talking about with the green shading and the armor. Yeah. Load. Come on. Mm-hmm. Do. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Yes. Oh, you actually have a green. Green tint. Yeah. Yeah, it's I just glaze on. It's like I start with a base coat of bright ivory, Procro bright ivory mixed with a little teeny bit of Citadel Elysian green. Okay. And then I'll start adding white to that mixture, and start glazing it on around the edges of the armor, and then go all the way up to before I go pure white. I'll go. So I was talking about the jumping back up. You can actually see a little bit better than the Mark 7. I'll use Vallejo. I want to say yellow green. It's like a bright neon green.
Okay.
And I'll just glaze it on real lightly, like super thin, just to bring some of the green back in, and then go through with like my final highlight of pure white with just a dash. I mean, like 7/8 white. No, like let's say 9.5 tenths white to a half of tenth of Elysian green, just to keep the green in there. Yeah. But yeah, so
that looks awesome. Yeah.
Hence why I really liked your Mentor a lot. I'm actually gonna go back this way. Hang on. There we go.
Yeah.
Dark Eldar.
Yeah. So
Synthwave Dark Eldar. I like that.
Yeah, Synthwave. Yeah. This is the first time I used fluorescent paint. I think it was.
Dude, you're the third guest that has talked about that. I need to try that stuff.
It's weird. It's not a glaze.
It's just really
opaque.
thin.
It's really thin.
Yeah.
It looks like a gel. But the funny thing is, the moment you start working with it, you understand it.
Okay.
You understand what you're supposed to do with it. You're not gonna get an opaque layer. You glaze it over it, and you'll see soon enough. It's also like a weird gel substance, but it dries really matte, and it just over light colors, it just turns on, and that's how you get the bright pink. Because this was really fun, because I didn't use it on the blue. There's no I only had the magenta fluorescent, but not the blue one. So I might, if I go back to this one, I would use a blue fluorescent to get the blue shining as well. But for now, I thought this was just a fun experience.
I think your color combination works really well.
Yeah, it's just two colors.
Like you're playing with contrasting colors, and nothing really, like everything balances right.
Yeah, and I painted this in one evening.
Oh,
I just
you're one of those.
I can do this. I can do this. This was a no plan. Just go.
Yeah.
Just get high contrast. It's not bright enough. Okay, just add another highlight, and just try to focus everything on the middle. And and then it just worked, because there was no plan. Because normally when I paint an orc, I know, okay, this is how I want it to look. So I have all those steps I have to go through, and here I had no plan. And
it's like, screw it, let's see what sticks.
Let's go, yeah. And then one evening, this was done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the original Dark Eldar models.
Yeah, I think it's 98.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it says Dark Eldar 98.
Yeah.
Those are such awkward models. I'm like, the new ones look really good because they're like everything's true scale, but the original ones, they were bad.
I think this was the best head sculpt, best helmet. Have you ever played Dawn of War?
The game? Like the
RTS?
Yeah. They're re-releasing it, right? Like remastering it and re-releasing it?
Yeah.
I'm stoked for that. But yes, I have played Dawn of War. I love that game.
Yeah. And all the Dark Elder Warriors had this helmet on. Oh. This was by far the best, because there are some wacky versions of those helmets in there.
I don't think I have the Dark Eldar upgrade, or the Dark Eldar expansion pack. There we go.
Yeah, the thing was called Soulstorm.
Yeah, I have the base game. I have the Imperial Guard one. I forgot what opposing faction was. I think Eldar was in that. I always wanted the Sisters of Battle one.
Yeah. The Sister Bezel were added with the Dark Eldar.
Oh, okay, that's the one I don't have then.
Yeah. That was the last one.
Okay. Well, fortunately, with the remaster that they're doing, they're including all of the expansion packs.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
So you have them all at once. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you can play all the campaigns. The original one was it was Blood Ravens versus Orks, and then I think
they had Chaos and Eldar as well.
In the base game.
In the base game, it had 4 factions. It had Orks, Space Marines, and Chaos Marines, and Eldar in it. Yeah.
I don't remember the Eldar being in it. It's been ages since I played it. I was so bummed when they released the second and third game and they got away from the real time strategy thing. And the irony of all this is that StarCraft was originally being designed as a Warhammer 40,000 RTS, and GW wouldn't give them the rights to it, so they're like, okay, we'll just keep building it. And it was, to me, like Dawn of War was literally the stopgap. It was like StarCraft 1.5 between StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, because StarCraft 2 took forever to come out. And it holds kind of a special place in my heart, and it really broke my heart when they did 2 and 3, and it was nothing like the original game.
No.
I think I
never played them. Yeah.
No, I remember seeing them. I remember seeing them at Best Buy and like reading the back of the box, and I'm like, "Where's the arm? Do you not get to build an arm? You get 5 guys? What this?" No. I like this guy.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite shootout for the squad now. I'm actually making a squad of 20.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'll have to learn to make a group shot, because that's pretty difficult to get a group shot right.
In square format.
Yeah. I think I'm working on Shooter Boy 14 and 15 right now, so I need 5 more. But this one, this is a combination of the old Ork set and the new one, because the shooter he's holding in the air is normally from a close combat boy.
Okay.
And the first part of his shooter has all the ammo slinging out. And I chopped off the barrel because it had the hand sculpted on it from where it's holding, and I just put on an old barrel. So it's a mishmash of an old Ork and a second Ork. But I like this is one of my favorite new faces just screaming. Yeah. So I have this one. This guy's running around 5 times or something with the screaming face. It's just this is just Orks to me, just putting a gun in the air, screaming. Probably screaming duck or something.
One of my guests that I had on really early on, he said something that's just really stuck with me about the Orks. He's like, it seems like the Orks are the only faction in 40K that seem like they're actually having a good time.
They are having a good time, yeah. I think it's in the lore where one of the Eldar says the Orks are the perfect race, because we live in a universe where there's only war. These guys enjoy it, and they actually grow if they fight. Yeah. So they are the perfect race. They actually thrive on war, and having fun.
I do have a question for you, because I ran into painting. I ran into this painting my Space Wolf for the tutorial. Yeah. How did you get your sawtooth pattern on the front of the barrel so clean?
I think just painting a white or ivory in this case band, and then do the black. Yeah. Yeah. Do the black over the white, and then
I'm guessing it's just like the reason why it's so clean and perfect is I think you might have a little bit better brush control than I do.
I think if you go over to the next picture, you can see close up. Next one.
Oh, okay.
There we go. I wanted to get 3 teeth to get with all the rivets, because then you can get an orange rusty contrast with the white. So that's why I went with 3. So that's what I think about. But yeah, it's just because it's Ork, because they're not perfectly symmetrical. You get away with it. Yeah. Yeah. I think I use for detail. I use a 10-0 brush. Okay. I don't know what you use for your finest detail.
90% of my work I use a Citadel small layer brush. I picked up Monument Hobbies, the people who make Pro Acryl. I have their next to tiniest brush. I think it's a 0. I forgot. Well, the gauge size of brushes varies between manufacturers. So a 0 or a 00, like hypothetically in Monument Hobbies, is not going to be the same as Winsor Newton or whatever the other brands are out there. Yeah. They all have their own definitions of what they think the sizes should be, but the one size smaller than the one that I have, dude, like how it holds any paint is beyond me. Like
it doesn't hold any paint, or
it's just the brush is so tiny. It's like the paint's going to be dry by the time you get it off your palette to your miniature.
I have that now because the summer is arriving. We don't have AC in our homes. Yeah, can be. You have to thin it down. Yeah.
But I've always been hooked on Games Workshop brushes. The small layer brush used to be called the detail brush.
Yeah.
And I used old Citadel detail brushes for, again, like 95% of my work. And the small detail brush now, or the small layer brush now, is identical.
Okay.
So it's just, that's kind of my workhorse. There's like two other brushes that I use as workhorses, but they're larger brushes. Yeah. But they carry a lot of paint. So like when I'm highlighting midtones, I can load my brush up with a ton of paint and water and just go full ham on like two legs, and I don't have to reload for the torso until I'm done with the legs. Okay. So it's kind of handy dandy.
Yeah. I think everyone has its brush of choice, God,
those I just keep hitting those monopose marines, and they're just so good. And since I painted one of these, I really like yours as well. This is cool.
Yeah, this was really fun to do.
I have a question. I want to know how you did this. How did you do the wood on his handle? On the axe, I'm sorry.
I think you mean that it goes from dark to light. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm trying to remember. I think I just highlighted it up first with the contrast brown, just to get the definition in it. Mm-hmm. Then highlighted up and started going lighter and lighter towards the middle of the handle. And I think I added several glazes. Okay. Towards the hand and the top of the metal, just to get the gradient just to go darker. Yeah. I think just building that up, and after that I thought, okay, there's not enough contrast. Just go over it with one more layer of. I think it's also probably a rattling grime, which is the best shading color for anything. Yeah, yours. I was just very curious because like I've always sucked at painting wood until I figured something cool out about the same orc, the same monopose orc that you did. Yeah. I base coated the whole model was black, but I base coated. Or I started working up, going from like a middle gray up to a really bright gray, leaving the black in the veins of the axe. Yeah, and I ended up taking Citadel Contrast Gorgunta Fur, watering that down and washing that over the whole axe shaft. Yeah. And I think I did like 2 or 3 glazes of it, and just started like I started moving more toward the hand as I applied the glazes. So I got darker and darker toward the hand, and then the last glaze I took Black Legion and mixed a little bit of that in, exactly like what you did to get it really dark by the hand and really dark by the axe head. Yeah. And just to kind of brighten up the middle of the wood again, I mixed up I think I forgot what they call it now. It was called terracotta. I mixed up terracotta with a little bit of like a tiny bit of white, and just picked out the middle of the axe shaft to give it to brighten it up just a little bit. Yeah. So it's actually kind of I kind of figured that's what you did, but you actually started with browns instead. Yeah. Which is really cool. Yeah. If it works, it works, right? Yeah. It was the first time I tried that. It's basically like zenithal highlighting. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. What I did, and it's the first time I've ever tried that, and I was like, oh god, it actually works. This is cool. Yeah, that's funny. Trying out techniques can sometimes be really horrible and not work for you at all, and then sometimes a thing just sticks, and then you'll just stick to it forever. Well, I was talking to my last guest about this one really neat thing. Actually, I was talking 3 guests ago, Snakework Studio. Yeah. Marcel and I got into it a little bit. You don't necessarily have to. There's different styles you can appreciate, like the grimdark and the slap chop and all that stuff, and you don't necessarily have to do it. And you may not like it, or you may not want to do it, or you may not like to do it, but there's always something cool from like different painting styles that you can pick up and incorporate to your own style. Yeah, just learn something from everything. I think it was Vince Venturella. I don't know if you know him. And he said he got a question, what tutorials should you watch? And he just said, watch all of them. Yeah. Just watch as many as you can, because you'll pick something up from anyone at any time. Just be as wide as you can with all the tutorials. Yeah. And there's another one that was I found really interesting, was like as I told the story earlier about like takes 10 to 15 years to figure out how my old painting teacher did what he did with his Mentor Legion.
trying to emulate somebody else's painting style.
Yeah.
You may not hit it perfectly, but you're going to learn a whole bunch of new cool stuff doing it that you may incorporate to your workflow that you've never tried before.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that. Yeah. That's why I think Instagram is so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple of guests I've talked to about the whole Instagram thing. It's such a great place to display your miniatures and to learn from because it's like Instagram is a very visual based platform, so it's perfect for our little culture, the whole painter side of things.
Yeah.
And this guy's cool.
Perfect.
I like him. Yeah. This is neat.
Yeah, this is I think this is actually a true scale marine body I used.
Okay.
So it has, I think it is is
that from 30K, the body?
I don't know what the armor is, but I ordered it from someone in Western Europe.
Because that's not Mark 7.
It wasn't on the package what it said, but I just like the bigger pose and the arms and the gun and the head and the backpack are all GW parts.
Yeah.
But this was really fun to. I wanted to do an Imperial Fist army, but the yellow is so much work. And
is this an Imperial Fist for you?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the the shoulder pads to add the icon, but I have more Imperial Fist. If you, I think I've got a vehicle.
That's a really interesting take on the color scheme.
Yeah, because I think this is Evelyn Sunset.
Okay.
I think Evelyn Sunset really that's what the old foundation paint would be. Mm-hmm. Only a newer it was called Base then, I think. But Evelyn Sunset just works really well. It has a nice sort of warm but still desaturated yellow as a base. Mm-hmm. So and it just applies really easy and mixes very good with because this one's also highlighted with ice yellow.
I really like he's instead of being a bright yellow, he's like a brownish orange.
Yeah. That's what really gives it the warmth in the recesses. I glazed, I think, an orangey brown. I would do that now with a contrast paint, but back then I didn't use contrast, so I just glazed I don't know which orange brown it was.
Oh, they didn't have contrast in 22?
I think so, but I didn't use it back then because I didn't have because I already did some Imperial Fist and I wanted to match it with it, and I didn't use contrast on those. So I didn't want the whole warmth difference being that the one was more orange and the other was more brownish. So I just went the old way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like when I do my Imperial, like when I eventually get around to doing an Imperial Fist, now seeing yours, I don't know if I want to do it with like orange shading on the yellow, or if I want to do it with brown shading on the yellow.
Yeah, that's a really difficult choice to make because I think orange just gives it a super vibrant and saturated glow to it. But this one is more towards brown. It's a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, this is like orange and tannish, like brownish orange and then like tan. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, go ahead. I think that's the most important thing of painting yellow is the shade color. The shade
this reminds
really
me a lot of
yellow.
Did you ever see the 3rd edition Epic? It was called Epic Armageddon or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, like in 3rd edition Epic, the main chapter was Imperial Fists, and they did them very similar to what you've got going on here.
Yeah.
Epic Armageddon. Yeah, it was Epic Armageddon. There we go.
Yeah. This kind of was what I was going for. I really like the 3rd edition. Now that you mention it, it's quite a coincidence. I really like that yellow. It's the warmish orangey brown shading. And yeah.
No, this is really cool. Like the one thing I love about doing this show is just like hearing people talk about their models and the way they paint them, and just seeing such a variety of different painting styles.
Yep.
And it to me, it's fascinating because it's like how Warheezy said to me, like, you go about this totally differently than I do. Just seeing just such variety and like just the sheer level of talent that so many people exhibit in what they paint is just, to me, if you would have asked me in the 90s or even the 2000s if I would have been able to like have a show like this or talk to people like you, I'd have been like,
For hours.
What? Talking to other painters? God, there's like 3 of us in Vegas. There's only got to be like 5 in California, maybe 2 of them in the UK. Oh, that's a neat dude. I like that. I've never seen that sculpt before.
This is the new gouged eye.
That's why I haven't seen it. I haven't really paid attention to Modern Blood Bowl.
Yep. So I removed the hands. I think he has some kind of claw. He has the biggest. Come at me, bro. He's probably a blocker or something.
He's got a white tank top on under there.
Yeah. So I replaced the hands, and I think the shoulder pads are plastic art by me, and then just replace the head. So that's basically it.
God, your reds are gorgeous.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this was all. If you take a look at Iron Keep Studios,
mm-hmm.
he has that red perfectly down.
I think I have a monopose second edition corn World Eater Space Marine sitting, the one with the chainsaw and monopose and the gun, the bolter.
Yeah.
I've got one of him sitting on my desk. I've been meaning to paint for over a year now. I think I'm going to borrow your red recipe for that.
Go do it. Get the Scarlet Blood. You will not be disappointed.
Oh, I'm gonna try it with Pyro Red, but I like just like looking at the Power Axe, like looking at like just that dark maroon going all the way up to like highlighted with ice yellow. I think that looks really cool.
That's the hull red that you see in the most darkest recesses. Yeah,
I've got there's a too thin coats color that's really close to that.
Yeah.
I'll take Pyro Red. Like if anybody ever sees like dark reds on my models, I rarely use. I have a really good dark red that I've started using, but normally I'll just like take red and mix it in black.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm lazy.
Well, that even works for you, right? Yeah.
Well, that and like looking for the proper looking for a good dark red. It's not exactly easy.
No.
Because they tend to, a lot of them tend to side. They kind of start going almost brownish.
Yes, yeah.
That squig is awesome. My gal love that.
Yeah, I think normally he also has two shootouts on his back. But
really?
I kept those ones out.
Okay.
Because this is a third party squig. This is the boss's pet, I think it's called. And the pink wasn't vibrant enough, so I went over with a little bit of red glazing just to get the vibrancy going. Because
I wasn't sure if you used that red neon or not, like you used on your Eldar.
No, I didn't have that one right here, but I should have used it on this one. Yeah.
It's damn similar.
Yeah, because I added the red in it so much.
Oh, actually, hold on. I had a question for you on that. I meant to bring it up. I kind of struggle with my metallics getting them to look like you've got on the axe shaft or on the axe head. How did you do that?
Yeah. Mainly just to get the contrast going. So I have my basic metal base color that I put on it, and then I shaded with the. I think this one was still done with the German black brown.
Okay.
Or Redling grime now. Then I go for that dark line you see. I line that out just with straight black brown.
Okay.
And glaze that out towards the edge. And then for a highlight, it's just chrome. Chrome from that's Vallejo. That's how I highlight all my all my metals.
So you just like literally you get the dark. My Benadryl's kicking in. You get the base coat basically like almost bolt gun metal.
Yeah.
Work it with a little bit of like rattling grime contrast, mix in a little bit of black with it, and then just go like the straight brightest silver you've got for the edges and the scratches.
Yeah, just get the scratchy one going and get the on the opposite side of the dark line. Right against that, get a chrome, so you get that that highest contrast you can probably get.
So I've started experimenting with golds and like on my Space Wolves, and I think I figured out how like I really like the way that Citadel does their golds now, and I think I figured out how they've gotten it, and I've gotten it real close, and it's just base coat with whatever their gold's called right now. I forgot it. I want to say shining gold because I'm old. Base coat it with that. Wash over it with Agarax Earthshade.
Yeah.
Go back over the gold again with shining gold, leaving the recess as dark brown. Highlight up to pure Stormhost silver, like 2 or 3 highlights.
No.
And then go back in the crevices again with a full coat, like the recesses with a full coat of Agarax Earthshade. Once that's dry, thin out the Agarax so it's a glaze, wash the whole thing, and then just pick out small details of basically like 3/4 mix shining gold with 1/4 of, or I'm sorry, 3/4 of Stormhost with 1/4 shining gold.
Yeah.
I know it sounds convoluted as hell, but it seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, but if you you got to get the order right, just get it shiny.
Yeah, I found the trick is exactly what you do here. You just go in with the brightest silver right on the edges of the gold, like pick out the very edge highlights with the brightest silver.
Get the max contrast going. Yeah.
Yep. And I think we'll pick out one more to chat about, and then I want to go to sleep because it's like 3 o'clock, 3:30 here, 3:20.
Yeah.
Dude, you're so good at hand painting your stuff. It's disgusting.
I like a bit of freehanding.
Yeah. In my Blood Angel video, I explained like, hey, I try to freehand as many badges as possible because it helps me with brush control. Yeah. I'm just I passed him. Where is he? There we go. I really like this.
I think this is a Gene Stealer cult.
Okay. I was trying to figure out where that came from. I'm like, that doesn't look like an Ork vehicle.
Yeah. What's it called? It's the Ridge Runner, something like that. It was for there was a competition going, and you had to buy a vehicle in that store, and then you could paint them up however you wanted it. And I thought
those are the old Rogue Trader 2nd edition wheels.
Yes, the other wheels.
Yeah, those were that was on the Lungbuster and I forgot what the other gun was called.
Yeah, and I think it was also used for other things as well.
Yeah.
Across other armies, that they just had one wheel, and I made a cast of it, so I can replicate. Yeah.
I like that little snotling.
Yeah, going out. I don't even know what this one's from, but he either had goggles, so I thought I'd just add him in the small hatch. Yeah,
I wish I would have had that head for the diorama that I painted for my gal for Christmas. I got the 2 middle or the 2 central models are one of the one of the Ork sniper boys, and then the other one's the Gretchen Commando. They all came in the Ork Commando pack. Okay. And I wish I would have found this head for the Commando Goblin instead of his wetsuit head with just his nose and his goggles.
Yeah.
I think it would have gone a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like again, we were talking about earlier where you do conversions and it looks like something you just buy straight off the shelf, and this is a perfect example of that. This looks like a Ork kit you could just go walk into your favorite store and buy.
Yeah, you just buy. Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah, that's what I was going for. And
this is the same red formula that you use on your Orks?
I think this one is a little bit older. I think I've gotten a little better.
Okay.
This one doesn't have the yellow glaze.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little more desaturated yellow, and I think the highlight placement and volumes are a little bit off. But I wasn't painting a lot of Orks during this time. This was just a one-off conversion I did for the store. Yeah, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, but this one is already 21.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago.
It reminds. I don't know why it just came to mind. It was like, and then you got bit by the Ork bug, and then all of a sudden the line from Forrest Gump came up in my head where it was a bullet, wasn't it? What? Yeah, it was a bullet that jumped up and bit you.
Yeah.
It was an Ork that jumped up and bit you.
Yep. It was a hair squig. That bit me. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to shut this down for the night. Thank you so much for coming on and spending time on the show, just rambling on and just nerding out. Yeah. Like I saw your page and I adored your Orks, and I was like, God, I want to get him on the show.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Hey, really, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I had a blast. It was awesome. And what was it? Almost 3 hours?
Yeah, something close to. I think it's like 2.5, 2 hours and 45 minutes. I've tried making these longer so that way a lot of people told me I listen to these when I paint.
Yeah.
And to me, it irritates me when I'm sitting there painting and an episode's only like 45 minutes to an hour long. It's like, great, I have to make a whole playlist now.
Yeah.
But to end the show with, is there, outside of the list I've got going here, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I think I've got almost all of them.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be Iron Keep Studios, Orkbot, Quarter Paint.
Yep.
I think you already got those. Giucani.
Yep.
I think that's 4.
Steel Legion.
Yeah, Steel Legion.
And Vince Vanderella.
Yeah. Burdenite. You know Burdenite?
Yeah, I know Burdenite.
Yeah. I mean, that guy just screams vibrant.
Oh, that guy is so freaking good. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I had a small chat with him because he painted some Death Watch in the wrong colors.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have those coming up one day. But he's really awesome.
I'm trying to get him on the show. I forgot where the conversation went.
Okay. Yeah, you should get him on the show. I'm really curious to see. Okay, I'm just gonna go through my following list. The Steel Legion is awesome. Maybe Bebop Paints. You know him?
What is it?
Bebop Paints. Nope. Okay, he doesn't post that often, but I knew him back from the forums of Daka Daka.
Oh, nice.
And then we met again on Instagram here. So I think him, and I think I mentioned all the ones that influenced me the most already. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it with that.
Okay.
That would be.
And for anybody watching, all these links are down below if you want to check out what he's been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Rambled off some amazing painters. I think you guys get a kick out of a lot of these guys. And hopefully I can get Burdenite on here. He'd be great to talk to.
Yes.
In a couple of weeks I've got Pax Acrylica coming on. Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone had mentioned that too. It's like, dude.
Oh, yeah. That guy's a mystery.
Oh yeah. I cannot wait to talk to him.
Yeah.
Like his level of creativity is just nuts, and I mean, like what he does on his green stuff conversions, geez, they're good.
My goodness, this will be sci-fi, 70s, 80s.
Yeah. Well, like Warheezy and I were talking about it, and we both said the same thing. Like his miniatures are so reminiscent of, like, reminds us so much of the original Dune movie.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Jodorowsky's Dune, the movie that never was?
Nope.
Okay, look that up. There was supposed to be in the late 70s. There was a director who wanted to make a Dune movie, and he got a Geiger to do the artwork.
Oh yeah. I'm a big Geiger fan, so
yeah. And he did the artwork for it. The movie never got made, but if you look up that documentary, probably the best movie never made. There's
actually a couple of pieces of Geiger's artwork that was repurposed from that movie that never got made to Prometheus.
Alien. Yeah, Prometheus. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
the dome.
They mentioned it. The dome. Yeah, they literally mentioned that in that documentary.
Yep. I was in the theater. I was like, "Oh, dude, it's a Dune concept art."
Yeah. The Harkonnen lair where the Baron lives. Yeah.
And the cool thing is, like, if stupid little obsessive detail I noticed before the storm hits on the planet, the face at the top of the dome is actually a human-looking face. And when the storm hits, it wears away everything to make it look like a skull.
Oh, like a skull, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those blink and you miss it kind of things.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
But I am going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for coming on, Mr. Develain, sir.
Thank you very much.
I had a blast talking to you, and we'll talk more after this. But I'm going to switch over to my ending screen. If you guys want to check out another episode of my podcast, there's one right there. And by the time this comes out, my Space Wolf tutorial should be sitting in that bottom thing. I've been saying this for months, but I'm actually editing it. So I'm going to go now. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, bye.